Shalom and welcome to this episode of Ask Aviel. My name is Aviel. You can ask me questions so that we can share, learn and grow together. Today I want to talk about rocks and stones. Rock in Hebrew is suri. Stone in Hebrew is aven. They represent God's unmovable steadfastness, stability and strength. Rocks represent a place of safety and refuge, an escape from the attacks of the enemy. Genesis 28. When Jacob went toward Haran, he spent the night there, for the sun had set. So he took one of the stones from the place and put it by his head and lay down in that place. He dreamed of a stairway set up on the earth and its top reaching to the heavens. And behold, the angels of God were going up and down on it. Adonai gave him a wonderful promise to watch over him wherever he would go, and Adonai would not forsake him, but do what he promised Jacob. Jacob woke up from his sleep. He was afraid, for this was none other than the house of God, the gate of heaven. Early in the morning, Jacob got up and took the stone which he had placed by his head and set it up as a memorial stone and poured oil on top of it. He called the name of that place Beth-el, and Jacob made a vow that Adonai would be his God. Jacob set up the stone as a memorial stone as God's house. In Hebrew, the stone is called aven. The word aven is made of two words, av and ben. Av is father and Ben is son. Both the father and the son were with him in that special place of Beth-el. In Genesis 29, Jacob continued on his journey. Suddenly, there was a well in the field, and there were 3 herds of sheep resting by it. The flocks would be watered from that well. The stone on the mouth of the well was large. When all the herds gathered there, they would roll away the stone from the mouth of the well and water the flocks, and put the stone back to its place over the mouth of the well. The herdsmen said that they were waiting until all the flocks were gathered, and the stone would be rolled away from the mouth of the well for them to water the flock. Jacob saw Rachel, and he stepped forward and rolled the stone away from the mouth of the well and watered the flock. Doesn't this story remind us of John 11, when Yeshua came to the tomb of Lazarus, who had been dead for 4 days? Now the tomb was a cave, and a stone was lying against it. Yeshua said, "Remove the stone." So they removed the stone. Yeshua cried out with a loud voice, "Lazarus, come forth!" And he raised Lazarus from the dead. Mark 16. When the Shabbat was over, some women bought spices so that they might come and anoint Yeshua's body. They came to the tomb. They were saying to each other, "Who will roll away the stone for us from the entrance to the tomb?" Looking up, they saw that the huge stone had been rolled away. And they found the stone rolled away from the tomb. In Exodus, God had finished speaking with Moses upon Mount Sinai. He gave Moses the 2 tablets of the testimony, tablets of stone written by the finger of God. Moses threw down the tablets of the testimony and they broke. Now the Lord said to Moses, "Cut out for yourself 2 stone tablets like the former ones, and I will write on the tablets the words that were on the former tablets which you shattered." Moses wrote down all the words of the Lord on a second set of stone tablets. He also built an altar at the foot of the mountain with 12 stone pillars for the 12 tribes of Israel. The 2 tablets of stone were kept in the Ark of the Covenant. As part of the high priest's garments, there are 2 onyx stones engraved with the names of the sons of Israel, 6 of their names on one stone and the names of the remaining 6 on the other stone, according to their birth. The 2 stones were engraved according to the names of the sons of Israel, and the onyx stones were set on the shoulder pieces of the ephod as memorial stones for the sons of Israel, just as the Lord had commanded Moses. Isaiah 28:16. Therefore, thus says Adonai Elohim, "Behold, I am laying in Zion a stone, a tested stone, a costly cornerstone, a firm foundation." Joshua 4. Those 12 stones which they had taken out of the Jordan, Joshua set up in Gilgal. Then he said to Bnei Israel, saying, When your children ask their fathers in time to come, saying, What are these stones? Then you will inform your children, saying, Israel crossed this Jordan on dry ground. In 1 Samuel 17, when Goliath the Philistine rose and began to advance, drawing near to meet David, David ran quickly toward the battle line to meet him. David put his hand in his bag, took from it a stone and slung it, striking the Philistine on his forehead. The stone sank into his forehead, so that he fell on his face to the ground. So David prevailed over the Philistine with a sling and a stone. He struck the Philistine down and killed him without a sword in his hand. Deuteronomy 27. Moses said to Israel, On the day when you cross the Jordan to the land which the Lord your God gives you, that you shall set up for yourself large stones and coat them with lime, and write on them all the words of this law, when you cross over to enter the land which the Lord your God gives you, a land flowing with milk and honey. Joshua 8. Joshua built an altar to the Lord, the God of Israel, an altar of uncut stones, and they offered burnt offerings on it to the Lord, and sacrificed peace offerings. He wrote there on the stones a copy of the law of Moses, which he had written, in the presence of the sons of Israel. 1 Kings 18. Then Elijah said to all the people, Come near to me. So all the people came near to him, and he repaired the altar of the Lord which had been torn down. Elijah took 12 stones according to the number of the tribes of the sons of Jacob, to whom the word of the Lord had come, saying, Israel shall be your name. So with the stones he built an altar in the name of the Lord. 1 Samuel 7:12. Ebenezer means, Thus far Adonai has helped us. 1 Samuel 2:2. There is none holy as Adonai, for there is none besides you, nor is there any rock like our God. Deuteronomy 32:4. The rock, blameless is his work. Indeed, all his ways are just. God of faithfulness, without iniquity, righteous and upright is he. Deuteronomy 32:13. He made him mount the heights of the land, so he ate the produce of the field. He suckled him with honey from a rock, with oil from a flinty boulder. Deuteronomy 32:18. The rock who birthed you. Ecclesiastes 3:5. There is also a time to scatter stones and a time to gather stones. Exodus 17:6. Behold, I will stand before you there upon the rock in Horeb. You are to strike the rock, and water will come out of it, so that the people can drink. Then Moses did just so in the eyes of the elders of Israel. Isaiah 2:10. Enter into the rock and hide in the dust, for fear of Adonai and the glory of his majesty. Isaiah 32. Behold, a king will reign in righteousness, and princes will rule in justice, like the shade of a massive rock in a weary land. Isaiah 51:1. Look to the rock from which you were hewn, and to the quarry from which you were dug. Matthew 16:18. And I also tell you that you are Peter, and upon this rock I will build my community, and the gates of Sheol will not overpower it. Psalm 18. Adonai is my rock, my fortress and my deliverer. My God is my rock. In him I take refuge. For who is God except Adonai? And who is a rock except our God? Adonai lives, and blessed be my rock. Exalted be God my salvation. Psalm 28:1. To you, Adonai, I call, my rock. Do not be deaf to me. Psalm 62:2. He alone is my rock and my salvation, my fortress. I will never be moved. Psalm 71:3. You are my rock and my fortress. Psalm 89:26. He will call to me, you are my Father, my God, and the rock of my salvation. Psalm 95:1. Oh, come, let us sing for joy to Adonai. Let us shout for joy to the rock of our salvation. Psalm 118:22. The stone the builders rejected has become the capstone. Matthew 21. The stone which the builders rejected, this has become the chief cornerstone. This came from Adonai, and it is marvelous in our eyes. Psalm 144:1. Blessed be Adonai, my rock. In Daniel 2, King Nebuchadnezzar had a dream about a stone cut out of the mountain without hands that struck the statue on its feet of iron and clay and smashed them, symbolizing the smashing of kingdoms by the rock, the Messiah. Ezekiel 36:26. God will give us a new heart. He will put a new spirit within us. He will remove the stony heart from our flesh and give us a heart of flesh. Luke 6. Everyone who comes to me and hears my words and does them, I will show you what he is like. He is like a man building a house who dug deep and laid a foundation on the rock. And when a flood came, the torrent burst against that house but could not shake it because it had been well built. Matthew 7:24-25. Therefore, everyone who hears these words of mine and does them will be like a wise man who built his house on the rock. And the rain fell, and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat against that house, and yet it did not fall, for its foundation had been built on the rock. 1 Corinthians 10:4. And all drank the same spiritual drink, for they were drinking from a spiritual rock that followed them, and the rock was Messiah. 1 Peter 2:4. As you come to him, a living stone, rejected by men, but chosen by God and precious. 1 Peter 2:8. A stone of stumbling and a rock of offense. Revelation 2:17. To the one who overcomes, I will give some of the hidden manna, and I will give him a white stone, and written on the stone a new name that no one knows except the one who receives it. Revelation 21:14. And the wall of the city had 12 foundation stones, and on them were the 12 names of the 12 apostles of the Lamb. The foundations of the city wall were decorated with every kind of precious stone. The Bible advises that we build our houses and lives upon the stable rock, the stone, that is God's love, wisdom, and salvation. Thank you for joining me. I pray that this message inspires and challenges you. God bless you and your family. Shalom.